Do you suffer from overthinking or analysis paralysis or chronic procrastination to the point of doing nothing and never actually starting? It's probably because you're questioning yourself to death and not actually asking yourself the right questions to just get started. If you've ever labeled yourself a procrastinator, you are not alone. I'm a doctor of physical therapy turned entrepreneur, and these are 24 questions that will get you to quickly think and then do so that you're not screwing over your tomorrow self. We all hate deadlines, but it turns out that they're actually great for getting shit done. To break free from your procrastinator identity, reduce your likelihood of self-sabotage, pain, and regret, ask yourself, will my stress increase as time to do this task decreases? So this next one is a crowd favorite and is especially useful for when a task feels like it's growing into like this overcomplicated web of ideas that's just getting in the way of getting the thing done. And by the way, creating this overcomplicated web thing is just another form of procrastination. So to avoid spinning this stupid little web, just ask yourself, what is the simplest way to get the result that I want? Doesn't have to be complicated. The amount of times I wish I asked this question more. So sometimes we think a task is simple and will require one measly step to complete, only to have our naive expectations crushed when that task somehow expands into a 17-step process. This question prevents you from feeling like defeated the moment you attempt to start. So before you start the task or create the task, ask yourself, what obstacles might get in the way? Okay, another question that can deter us from banging our head into the wall and overcomplicating things. So in the process of repotting my plant, I made it to Home Depot and ended up watching this video.
So once I have this set up, the only other thing I'll need to do
is to stop watching and ask myself this question. What's the easiest way that this can be done? Get the soil, get the pots, and then get the fuck out. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by just the sheer number of tasks on your to-do list? This question reduces the overall stress of an entire to-do list and day-to-day life. Just ask yourself, what's one thing that I could do today that will make everything else in my life easier or unnecessary? Okay, so you know what's another obstacle? Distractions. In the year 2024, the year of our AI, this question usually has a pretty common answer, but sometimes it's not that obvious. So ask yourself, what is one distraction that I can eliminate just for today? But you know what's crazy is that sometimes the lingering to-do that's just nagging you and living in your head rent-free is actually the distraction. And getting real with the answer to this next question alleviates so much anxiety and can better allow you to peacefully sleep at night. What lingering to-do is causing me to be distracted right now?
Oh yeah, this feels pretty good to get this taken care of. Get this off my mind. A little bit of editing inception.
I saw this next question somewhere out on the interwebs, which falls into the category of the two previous questions, but different in the sense that it might produce an even bigger long-term win in the time-saving arena. It's also a great reminder that sometimes the most helpful thing is to not do the to-do. So ask yourself, what one thing can I eliminate in my life that's draining me? So productive procrastination is a clear sign that you desperately don't want to do something that's an actual priority. When you catch yourself doing something as unpleasant as like deep cleaning your vacuum, ask yourself, what am I avoiding and why am I avoiding it? All right, so this next question either reveals how badly you want to do something or how pointless the task might be in relation to your goals. This question also works in both ways to test both your commitment and expose self-sabotaging perfectionist actions. And the question is Is this worth doing? Alright, so sometimes we generally just feel bad about ourselves, like a failure. And this next question keeps us out of a cycle of toxic productivity and prevents us from doing more things that take away from the important downtime that we need. What one thing can I do that will leave me feeling satisfied at the end of the day? Okay, so this is another crowd favorite that I've added to my everyday phrases because we need a standard that protects us from the perfectionist version of ourselves and the half-assed version of ourselves. So before even starting a task, ask yourself, what does good enough look like? All right, I love this phrase. We can't have it all, and we can't do it all. However, we can have everything we want. Before asking yourself this next question, just understand that you can still be a happy person no matter what your answer is. What do I need to give up in order to have what I want? Okay, so I have used the hell out of this next question. Whenever we choose to do something, we're essentially saying yes to one thing and no to something else. And to avoid making hasty decisions that put you in a regrettable position that you wish you never committed to in the first place, recognize the potential sacrifices or the cost of missing out on an epic opportunity by asking yourself, what's the trade-off for doing this? Okay, guys, I have a confession. I am actively trying to cure myself from having shiny object syndrome, the syndrome where every opportunity that pops up seems like an exciting new thing that I should immediately pursue. To wean myself from this focus sucking behavior, I ask myself what one thing on my current list of to-dos excites me the most. Okay, so this next one. Sometimes we have days where we feel like a dumpster fire of dirty socks and our minds just need an effing break, preferably away from like a screen. What's one thing I can do for my body today? So remember when I said that these questions would unscrew your tomorrow self? Well, this next question falls into the category for the greatest acts of self-love and rips off that procrastination label. What would tomorrow's version of me thank me for today? No, 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 no. Yep, 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 yep. Alright, guys, sometimes it's just not about us, and it's about someone that we love. When we really, really, really don't want to do something, this question uses a little bit of guilt to get you going, but it eliminates potential resentment and promotes acts of self-love as well. Am I being selfish by not doing this? So at some point, everybody experiences some sort of win, and sometimes we give luck 100% of the credit, when sometimes that's not true. This next question works extremely well for doing like a systems check to optimize and simplify things. What worked well for me before, and can I repeat that? Alright, so sometimes we actually start doing the thing, but it's taking us forever to complete and it's starting to drag out because of things like perfectionism, or sometimes we're just way too close to the problem that we can't see a simple solution. Or maybe we just need moral support and accountability to just get you over the finish line. So at some point, get out of your own way and ask, who can I ask for help or advice to finish this? So chances are, if you're watching this, you have goals, but sometimes working on the achieving part is like when you're feeling like everything has suddenly become pointless and you're at an all-time low for both motivation, discipline, and even like inspiration and excitement, ask, what's the smallest thing that I can do today that contributes to my goals? All right, so I think we've all heard the phrase insanity is just repeating the same things over and over again and expecting a different result. When you're experiencing results that you're not happy with, just ask yourself, what's one thing that I can change or improve in my routine? So some tasks might require a little extra creativity or need to be approached from a different angle. And sometimes we think that the minute we try something new for the very first time, we should immediately be good at it, which can be discouraging to continue if we're not. So ask yourself, how can I approach this with a beginner's mindset? Okay, so here's the thing. Procrastination is usually about something more sinister in our lives, and you and I aren't going to get any use out of these questions without doing these next two things. Asking, am I being honest with myself? And then watching this next video that shows the system I use to actually do things that are driven by the answers to all these questions. TTYL. Wee 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 wee.